Good morning students. I am Radha from Cambridge International School, Dasuya. In our previous video, we have studied about concept of consumer protection and its scope under Consumer Protection Act 1986. According to Consumer Protection Act 1986, our aim is to provide protection to the consumers against all kinds of unfair trade practices. We have the right to protect ourselves against all kinds of unfair trade practices, to provide awareness or to educate consumers about their rights and reliefs available to them. And because of unfair trade practices, we are facing exploitation. Now I will share some examples of unfair trade practices with you. Now you will see here that common unfair trade practices. Now first one, that is adulteration. Adulteration, that means you are making a product, any good, something which is of poorer quality by adding any substance. The next is black marketing. That means buying and selling of goods in a way that is not legal. Next one is false weight. Next is poor quality. Next is exorbitant price. And then misleading advertisement and duplication of brand. So these are the examples that you can face any kind of exploitation. So we need justice. So let us start with today's topic, that is importance of consumer protection. And our objective is students will learn about the importance of consumer protection. Now start with importance of consumer protection. Here you will see that caveat emptor, that was the approach used earlier, traditional approach, which says let the buyer beware. That means that buyer, consumer, he must know about his rights, responsibilities and reliefs available to them. Now first we will study about the importance of consumer protection according to consumer point of view. Now first point is consumer ignorance. Consumer ignorance. As a consumer, you know that we are unaware about our responsibilities, our rights or reliefs available to us. So that we need protection because of unfair trade practices, we are exploited, and because of unawareness about rights available to us, reliefs available to us, we face many kind of exploitation. So we need protection. So consumer is ignored about his rights and responsibilities or reliefs available to them. So he needs consumer protection. Next one, unorganized consumers. We all are consumer, and as a consumer, this is our duty. We need to be a part of consumer organization. Consumer organization, that is the voluntary group of people, those who are working for the welfare, for the protection of interest of consumers. So we are not a part of that consumer organizations, then we are facing injustice or we are exploited by business firms. For example, consumer organization example, that is Jago Grahak Jago, which is working at Panchkula for the welfare or interest of consumers. Next one, widespread exploitation. Just now I have discussed with you the different varieties of unfair trade practices, that is adulteration, false, fake products, defective products, unsafe products, misleading advertisement, duplication of brands. Because of these all kind of unfair trade practices, we need protection. As a consumer, we need protection. So these are the points from consumer point of view. We need protection. Consumer need protection. Now from business point of view, we will study how consumer protection is important. Now here we are going to use that our modern approach, that is caveat vendor. It means let the seller beware what he has to do or what is his responsibility to protect the interest of consumers. Now first one is long-term interest of business. The business, if they want to earn profit for a long time, they need to satisfy the wants and needs of consumers. And once satisfied customer not only repeat the sale but gives a positive feedback to his friends or prospective customers or consumers. So if business wants to earn profit for a long time, they need to identify and satisfy the needs of consumers, or business firm has to provide right product at a reasonable price, or we can say that good quality product to the consumers at a right price. So this is the long-term interest of business. Now next one, business uses society's resources. Business is a part of society, and whatever resources, physical, financial and human resources used by business, they are getting from the society only. And in return, they have to provide goods and services to the consumers. So it becomes necessary for the business to provide good quality of products at reasonable price to the consumers. Next one, social responsibility. Business is a part of society. As if that business has to satisfy all the stakeholders, those who are involved with the business. Example, that shareholders they want good return every year. Then we are talking about employees. They want fair wages, salaries with good working environment. Then we are talking about customer, that is an important part of society, and he is going to expect the good quality products at reasonable price. And then we are talking about creditors. They expect that their payments at a right time. So when we are talking about consumer protection, we will talk about consumer only. So this is the social responsibility as one important stakeholder, that is consumer. This is the social responsibility of business to provide good quality of products at a reasonable price. Next one, moral justification. Moral justification, we can say this is the moral duty of business firm to avoid all kind of unfair trade practices and provide good quality products at a reasonable price. Now last one, that is government intervention. If any business is involved in any kind of malpractices or unfair trade practices like adulteration, that defective products, unsafe products, black marketing, then we can say that hoarding or duplication of brands. If business is involved in any kind of unfair trade practices, then that government can interfere, or government can take legal action against it, which can spoil their image in the market or among the consumers. So if business doesn't want any kind of interference of government in their business, then it is advisable for them to go for fair trade practices. They should not involve in any kind of unfair trade practices, so that consumer will be satisfied and he will repeat the sale and he will give the positive feedback to his friends. So students, today we have studied about the importance of consumer protection from consumer point of view and from business point of view. Thank you.